From Fox 15, News 15 Today starts now.
Good morning and welcome back. You're watching News 15 Today. I'm Alex Worsell.
And I'm Carter Simino. Thanks for tuning in this morning.
Well, happening now, the family of Trayford Pellerin will gather in front of the DA's office.
April 21st marked 8 months since the fatal shooting of Pellerin, who was shot 10 times by Lafayette police. The public is invited to show support to the Pellerin family in their demand for the body cam footage from that night of the shooting and to ask that the LPD officers involved be indicted.
The family says they not only want questions answered, but they want justice. We will continue to update you on this story here and online, Kadn.com.
Meanwhile, Secor Power now facing a third lawsuit stemming from the capsized boat tragedy that happened 2 weeks ago.
That's right. The family of Ernest Williams of St. Mary Parish is filing suit on behalf of his wife and 9 adult children.
The lawsuit seeks damages for personal injury and wrongful deaths from 4 defendants, including Secor, the company that hired the lift boat, and the company who constructed the boat.
The Port Barre Police Department and Jeanerette Fire Department are accepting supplies to help the Secor Power search team. They're asking for water, Gatorade, sunscreen, and any other helpful items as they search for the missing Secor workers. Port Barre PD will drop off these donations on Saturday, so you have until tomorrow to get your donations to the Jeanerette Fire Department.
Let's go ahead and shift gears and talk about the weather with Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier.
Yes, Adam, we've been talking about it all morning long. Warm and humid out there.
Oh yeah, that humidity, you can definitely feel it. The warm temperatures, they are warm. We're already up into the mid and upper 70s. In fact, look at Breaux Bridge sitting at 78 degrees. It is 77 in Ville Platte. Usually at this time in the morning, we're trying to find the cool spot on the map. Today we're finding which one of us has the warmest temperature out there, as these winds off the Gulf of Mexico continue to bring in a lot of humidity, a lot of moisture, 10 to 15 miles per hour. They're only going to increase throughout the day. We see those gusty winds bringing in more of that moisture, more clouds, and those temperatures getting nice and warm in the lower 80s. We'll talk about how warm they get today and also rain chances in the forecast coming up.
All right, we'll check back soon, Adam. Thanks very much. Moving on, Governor John Bel Edwards continuing to ease COVID-19 mitigation measures for the state. The governor is putting local leaders and businesses in charge of implementing a mask mandate. However, masks are still required in public places such as schools and healthcare facilities.
Don't mistake the easing of the COVID-19 mask mandate as a sign that the pandemic is over. It is not. And we are not on a one-way street moving away from the pandemic either. It is still very much a two-way street. And we don't want to go in the other direction. It is still possible.
Other changes include erasing outdoor event crowd limitations and allowing some businesses to reopen their waiting areas.
The CDC now says if you're fully vaccinated and you're outside, then you do not need to wear a mask for most activities. The agency says fully vaccinated people can ditch the mask if they're attending a small outdoor gathering where others are fully vaccinated and unvaccinated. However, the CDC still recommends for vaccinated people to wear a mask if they're attending a crowded outdoor event like a sporting event or a concert.
The CDC reverses field on comments made by its director on coronavirus risks to pregnant women.
The CDC walked back statements Tuesday made by CDC head Dr. Rochelle Walensky last Friday. Walensky then recommended that pregnant women receive the vaccine, saying there was no evidence against vaccines for pregnant women.
The agency now says its guidelines haven't changed since March, saying pregnant women should weigh risks such as exposure to the virus and possible infection when considering getting vaccinated.
There's been a massive increase in domestic violence cases since the start of this pandemic. Nicole Cockerham with Faith House says officials and law enforcement are working together to help domestic violence victims during this difficult time.
70% increase in survivors and children that we saw. And I would venture to say that, the majority, 3/4 of those are with children. We have a lot of children at the shelter. We see a lot of children here at the Family Justice Center.
Cockerham tells News 15 they have not closed one day since the pandemic started, and they'll continue to move forward. To learn more about domestic violence resources and assistance, go to our website, Kadn.com.
Turning to some state COVID-19 stats, the Louisiana Department of Health is reporting an increase of more than 400 cases since the last update. Now confirmed cases surpassing 388,000 to date. Since the start of the coronavirus pandemic, more than 9,000 people have died as a result of complications from the virus, with an increase of 10 deaths overnight.
The department is also reporting an additional 67,000 people have gotten the COVID vaccine. The state has now completed more than 1.2 million two-dose vaccines. That's approximately 1 in 4 people.
Louisiana patients could soon have access to smokable marijuana after a bill cleared the House committee last week. The bill is the biggest expansion to the state's medicinal marijuana program since its initiation 6 years ago. State Representative Tanner McGee, who authored the bill, explains why this expansion is needed.
Really, what we'd be doing with us only having expensive products out there, we would be killing our program. Our residents would be leaving our state to go buy it in Arkansas, in Mississippi.
This bill is expected to make its way to the House floor in the coming weeks and is optimistic that it will eventually make its way to the governor with very little opposition.
President Biden will deliver his first joint address to Congress tonight.
Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera is in Washington with more on what the president is expected to discuss.
President Biden's first speech to Congress comes just ahead of his 100th day in office, giving him a chance to weigh in on his first 3 months on the job.
President Biden's first address before a joint session of Congress is shaping up to look different from years past. Rather than a packed chamber hosting all 535 members of Congress, because of COVID, only around 200 are on this year's guest list.
While the speech will, of course, look and feel different from past years, the president will preserve a few traditions, including the walk down the center aisle that we have seen presidents do for many years. He will, of course, be wearing a mask for that.
The president is expected to use his speech to further promote his $2 trillion infrastructure plan and provide an update on the COVID pandemic. It comes as more than 230 million vaccine doses have since been distributed, surpassing the president's modified goal of 200 million.
After one of the most difficult years in recent memory, the first 100 days of the Biden presidency and the new Senate Democratic majority has seen the country turn a corner.
The White House says the president will also unveil his American Families Plan, the final piece of his $4 trillion spending proposal, a plan expected to include investments in education, child care, and paid leave. But Republicans critical of the president's spending proposal say his defense budget doesn't go far enough.
Adjusting for inflation, President Biden's proposal would amount to a reduction in spending.
While tonight's address will look similar to a State of the Union address, officially it's not one. In recent years, a president's first speech is called a joint session. That's because in theory, the president is too new to weigh in on the State of the Union. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Well, if you're looking for a job in Acadiana, you'll have more than one chance this May. We'll tell you how.
And radar staying quiet for now, but rain chances, they are on the rise in the coming days. Details just ahead.
And we're checking in with Al Aber next. He has had a wonderful morning at Leona Sue's in Scott. We're talking all things Mother's Day after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome back to News 15 today. Well, hopefully by now in the morning, Al is probably pretty good at giving gifts.
He's a pro. He has to be because he has learned so much. We're going to send it out to him one last time this morning from Leona Sue's florist in Scott. Al Abear, what do you have for us?
Hey guys, I got to tell you, I may be the world's best gift giver now. I got to tell you, it's all because of Annie Venable here at Leona Sue's Florist. And we're wrapping up our morning here. I did want to show you this. Look at this cool vase. I love this. I never thought of this as a vase.
Yes, we use them a lot for Father's Day, either with flowers or with plants in them, or any day, like if someone's in the hospital. Flowers do make men happier as well as women.
I like that. And now this is one of your Mother's Day vases, right?
Yes, this is called the Retro Camper.
That's so cool. I love this. Now, Annie, if people want to learn what I learned this morning, there's a way for them to do it, right?
Yeah. Before COVID, we had classes, DIY classes, and you could come in and we would teach you how to make different things. And now that things are getting back to normal, we're hoping to start those up again.
And now that I'm practically a florist, I could come and help you with those, right?
Of course, of course.
Now, if people want to order flowers from you, how do we do that?
Well, you can call here, and we'd be happy to help you and help pick out your mom's favorite flowers or fragrances. Or you can order online. We have a website, leonasuesflorist.com.
Now, I noticed on your Facebook page, lots of pictures of flowers, so people could look at that and maybe choose something from that, right?
Right, it gives them an idea. A lot of times we say pick an arrangement and we'll follow the same color and theme. May not look exactly like it, especially with COVID. We do have limited flowers, but we can always get the same color scheme and style.
Now, if you're looking for a gift that's maybe not flowers, you guys have all kinds of stuff. I love this thing here, this high maintenance fragrance. So if people are looking for something different, just give us a rundown of all the stuff you have here.
Well, we have the Lambergers, we have Tyler's, we have Orleans, so we can make a mixed gift baskets for mom. We can do the flowers. We can also do a junk basket, like snacks, if you just want to do snacks along with your flowers.
Hey, I love that. And I got to tell you, if you don't think that Alex Worstel is often right about stuff, this Tyler candle thing, she was like talking about this morning. She was dead on. This stuff smells great. I love this. Alex, man, checking the win column for you. Hey, we're going to go back to you in the studio. More News 15 where Alex Worstel will be right for the rest of the show. And tomorrow, hey, I'm at the Children's Museum. We're doing science over there. Getting ready for our big supply drive on Friday.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that so much, Al, because let's be honest, it doesn't happen often here on this
Al's getting credit
today desk. But I'm so glad that you enjoyed it, Al. It was fun to watch. We appreciate you.
Well, we are off to a warm and humid start to the day, unfortunately for Alex's hair. Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier is tracking more warm temperatures next. It is 8:44 on your Wednesday morning.
Always tracking, always alerting. Here's your Storm Track 15 weather.
A very warm start to the day, and it's only going to get warmer later this afternoon, according to our resident scientist, Adam Olivier.
We're checking in with him now for the latest. Adam, what do you have for us?
Well, we are seeing those warm temperatures out there, a lot of clouds too, but we are seeing some brightening to the sky as well. You can see that sunlight trying to peek through at times, and that's going to be key today because any sunlight we get, temperatures are going to bounce up very quickly. Remember, we're already in the mid-70s out there across the area. So it's not going to take a whole lot to get us in the 80s. One way that you can tell there's a little bit more sunlight trying to break through, look at the shadows there from the tree. I-10 at Ambassador showing that we have mostly cloudy skies, but with some sunshine. 76 degrees in Lafayette, dew point of 71. Key here, the wind picking up 9 miles an hour out of the south-southeast. It's going to continue to increase through the day today, and we're talking about from 11 to 7 p.m. a wind advisory in effect for areas I-10 south. That is because our winds are expected to gust upwards of 30 miles per hour at times. Now, you add in that sunshine, you add in those gusty southerly winds, we get some really warm temperatures. We climb up into the mid-80s this afternoon, a very, very warm day. And then when we talk about cloud cover, well, it's going to be on the decrease through the afternoon hours today. I think this is overdoing it a little bit. I don't think we go to completely sunny skies, but certainly partly cloudy through the afternoon, not out of the question. And again, that's going to get our temperatures up pretty toasty. Now tonight, we go right back down to basically where we were this morning, maybe a few degrees cooler, but lower 70s, not cool by any stretch of the imagination. That leads to some rain chances as that moisture has been building and building. Those clouds eventually are going to get enough of a push, enough of a lift in the atmosphere to become thunderstorms. Tomorrow afternoon, we are expecting a few pop-ups late in the day, mid-80s for highs on your Thursday. From here on out, things have changed since yesterday. If you joined us yesterday, we were talking about models were split. There were two scenarios. Either we dry out towards the weekend or we get rainier. Well, the rainier solution looks to happen here, and I would definitely prepare if you have any outdoor activities, especially on Sunday, to have a backup plan as we're expecting scattered showers and storms. Temperatures staying on the warm side in the upper 70s and lower 80s through the weekend. Next week, however, we kind of lose some of those rain chances as high pressure builds in. We're talking about near 90 degrees for the afternoon high.
That's an 8-7, right?
Yes.
You got it.
Okay.
All right, Adam.
Not 8.7, which is 15.
I do struggle with numbers.
This is true. All right. Well, thanks, Adam. We'll check back one more time before our newscast is up.
U.S. officials still plan to make federal real ID standards mandatory, but they're giving you more time to make the change. More on that coming up. Cypress Bayou Casino Hotel is holding a job fair, so be sure to mark your calendars for May 8th. The casino is hiring for positions like food and beverage, gaming, IT, accounting, security, and marketing. For more info, be sure to call the number on your screen.
And another option for job seekers across Acadiana, locally owned and operated Stuller is now hiring. The company is hosting a job fair on May 11th from 9 to 3 at the Cecil Picard Center. They are looking to fill more than 200 new jobs at the global headquarters here in Lafayette. To view all job listings for the company, head to stuller.com/careers. Stuller is the nation's largest jewelry manufacturer. Well, you now have until 2023 to update your driver's license to comply with federal Real ID standards.
That's right. The Department of Homeland Security announced it was extending the deadline for the enforcement of Real ID requirements, of course, due to the pandemic. DHS said only 43% of U.S. IDs are currently compliant.
The deadline was previously set for October 1st of this year. The new deadline is May 3rd, 2023.
Once enforcement is in effect, travelers flying commercially in the U.S. will need to have a Real ID, which is marked by a star on the top of the card. Chipotle giving away $250,000 in burritos to healthcare workers.
I think it's 250,000 individual burritos.
Oh, right. Big difference, right?
Yeah, the big difference. The Mexican food, it's probably like 9 burritos the other way around. The Mexican food chain announced it's giving out 250,000 codes for free burritos to nurses and medical providers.
Love this. Well, Chipotle's chief marketing officer said it's all about supporting healthcare workers as this pandemic continues. You have to sign up by getting a code. It starts on Thursday at noon on Chipotle's website.
The offer comes ahead of May 6th, National Nurses Day. Chipotle is also letting people thank healthcare workers on a virtual wall on its website.
From a Flintstones sequel series to new music from Billie Eilish.
Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the latest in the Hollywood Nation.
Eilish makes an announcement. Kiss chronicles their global stardom and the Flintstones' return in the Hollywood nation. Hanna-Barbera's popular modern Stone Age family, the Flintstones, are coming back. Warner Brothers Animation and Fox are developing a new animated sequel series called Bedrock, and Elizabeth Banks is on board to produce and star. Set 20 years after the original, Banks will be the voice of an adult Pebbles Flintstone who embarks on a new career. In addition, all 6 seasons of the original series will be available on Fox's free streaming platform Tubi starting May 1st. Legendary rock band Kiss will get the spotlight in a new upcoming A&E documentary. The 2-part 4-hour film titled Biography Kiss Story will chronicle the band's 5 decades in the business, featuring interviews with founders Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, as well as current members Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer, Foo Fighters frontman Dave Grohl, and more. It airs over 2 nights starting June 27th. And new music from Billie Eilish is on the way. The Grammy-winning singer shared the news on Instagram that she's releasing her 2nd album, Happier Than Ever, July 30th. She also added that a new song will drop on Thursday. The record will include previous singles My Future and Therefore I Am. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, Adam Olivier has a final track of the forecast, plus some news before you go, right after this break.
A traffic alert to tell you about this morning in Lafayette. The intersection of South Hugh Wallace and East Cali Saloon Road will be closed. The roads will remain closed for 1 week for concrete repairs. They'll reopen on May 5th. Drivers should watch out for detour routes.
Insurance company State Farm has increased their statewide average rate. The change went into effect at the beginning of April for Louisiana customers. The adjustment in rates was approved by the Louisiana Department of Insurance earlier this year. Research shows that more drivers are on the road, causing insurance companies like State Farm to adjust rates based on an increase of auto claims.
A look at that forecast. We are dealing with clouds out there today, warm temperatures, and a lot of wind, too. Those winds at times gusting over 30 miles an hour. The good news is we're not dealing with any rain today, so hopefully that stays away for a little while longer, but we are going to see those showers and storms increasing in your forecast as we head towards the weekend.
Got to get the rest of these April showers out, right?
Yeah. This is true.
But they'll carry into May, too.
Of course they will. They always do.
Oh, boy. All righty. Well, thank you, Adam. Our coverage continues at noon on KLAF and anytime on our website, KDN.com.
We'll be back here bright and early from 5 a.m. to 9 tomorrow. Until then, have a great day at Acadiana and stay safe. Hey, can we use music that's less giddy, seeing that I'm teasing domestic abuse?
But see, the moral of this story would be, probably, why are you teasing domestic